The moon was inching its way behind a veil of dark clouds as Lily hurried down the deserted street, her footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night. She had always been brave, or so she thought, until tonight. Tonight, she felt an unshakable chill crawling up her spine, as if unseen eyes were watching her from the shadows. Lily had heard the stories since she was a child. Tales of Eyeless Jack, the creature that lurked in the forgotten corners of the town, preying on the curious and the unwary. The stories claimed he was once a man, perhaps even a doctor, who had been horribly disfigured in a lab accident. Now, he wandered the night with empty sockets where his eyes once were, a sinister grin etched permanently into a face that was more nightmare than flesh. She pushed past the alleyway that led to her house, trying to shake off the feeling that she was being followed. Her voice caught in her throat when she glimpsed a shadow dart across the alley's edge, just out of sight. The air grew colder, her breath fogging in the darkness. She knew the stories about how Eyeless Jack was drawn to the inquisitive, the curious, those who dared to delve into the darkness where they shouldn't. Clutching her backpack tightly, Lily reached her front porch and fumbled with her keys. Her hands trembled, and for a moment she froze, listening. Nothing. Just the whisper of leaves in the breeze. She was about to breathe a sigh of relief when she heard it, soft, wet scraping sounds just beyond the porch. Her heart hammered against her chest as she spun around. The street was empty, yet the noise persisted, slow, methodical dragging sounds, as if something or someone was pulling itself along the pavement. She flicked her flashlight on and shone it into the shadows. For a moment, nothing. Then, from the darkness, a figure emerged. It was tall, hunched over, with an unnatural gait. Its skin was pallid, stretched tight over a gaunt frame, and where eyes should have been, there were only hollow sockets, voids that seemed to swallow the weak beam of her flashlight. Its mouth curled into a crooked grin, revealing jagged, yellowed teeth. The dreadful, silent stare chilled her more than any scream. Lily backed away, stumbling onto her porch. She fumbled with her keys again, desperately trying to unlock the door. The creature moved closer, dragging its claws along the pavement, each scrape echoing like nails on a chalkboard. She could hear the wet, squelching sound of its breathing, or perhaps it was just the sound of her pounding heart. Suddenly, a flash of memory. The stories her grandmother told her of how Eyeless Jack would sometimes appear in the stories written by the old librarian, stories that had come to life in the town's darkest alleys. She remembered the nights her grandmother warned her about curiosity, about how curiosity could kill you, and tonight, that advice seemed more relevant than ever. In a panic, Lily grabbed the doorknob and threw open the door. She dashed inside, slamming the door shut behind her and leaning against it, lungs heaving. For a moment, all was silent. Then, she saw the shadows beneath her window shift. She dared a glance outside and saw the creature's face, those empty sockets staring directly at her through the glass, a grin frozen in its face. She knew she couldn't stay inside forever. Her parents' room was on the second floor. She sprinted up the staircase, clutching her phone, hoping for help. As she reached the top, she looked back. The creature was rising from the shadows, its hollow eye sockets gleaming eerily in the faint moonlight streaming through the window. Lily scrambled into her parents' room, slamming the door behind her. But her heart sank when she saw the shadow stretching under the doorframe, an abnormal, elongated form that seemed to seep in from underneath. She locked the door, trembling, voice trembling as she dialed 911. The line crackled. No signal. Then she heard it again. The scraping, the wet breathing, the damnable grin. That terrible face with empty sockets was now pressed against the window, staring in at her. Panic overwhelmed her. She grabbed a heavy lamp, smashing it through the glass to draw its attention away from her. The window shattered, shards scattering on the floor. In that moment, Lily saw the thing's face up close, those hollow sockets, jagged grin, a disturbingly human shape twisted into something monstrous. She screamed and backed into the corner, clutching her phone with trembling hands, desperately trying to call for help. But suddenly, the creature stopped, retreating into the darkness. The street was silent once more. Minutes felt like hours. When her parents finally burst into the room, she was a shaken, tear-streaked mess. She told them everything, about Eyeless Jack, about seeing him so close, about the horror that had just unfolded outside her window. The police investigated. They found scratch marks and wet footprints outside, but no sign of the creature. It was as if it had disappeared into the night, leaving only a terrifying memory behind. Over the next few days, strange things kept happening. Shadows flickered in her peripheral vision. She'd hear faint scraping noises in the walls, and sometimes, late at night, she would wake to find her bedroom window slightly ajar, even though she knew she had closed it. And she knew, deep down, that Eyeless Jack wasn't gone. He was waiting, watching, perhaps still lurking around her house, or worse, waiting to find the next curious soul foolish enough to seek out what should have remained hidden. Because Eyeless Jack didn't just prey on the curious. He preyed on the unwary, on those who dared to look into the darkness and see what shouldn't be seen. And now, Lily understood that some mysteries are better left untouched, for once you gaze into the void where his eye sockets should be, the void might just gaze back, and never let you go.